Adventure riding, it's all about going wherever the road leads. This bike gets the blood pumping. It's a lot of fun to ride. You want to hunt out those back roads, those new destinations, and see what's the top of that mountain. This is the bike you want to be doing it on. Hi, I'm Chris Birch, and this is the KTM 890 Adventure. So most of you adventure guys will know me as more of the R guy. I do spend most of my time on the 890R, but every now and then I get the chance to take the KTM 890 Adventure out and put it through its paces, and I can totally confirm this is the most off-road capable adventure travel bike that's out there. Just like the 890R, this bike's got that new Raleigh Dakar-inspired styling. But what sets it apart from the R is its agility, its nimbleness, and it's really, really fun to ride on gravel roads, windy backcountry roads. It's a really sporty, agile feeling to this bike. So all these new features are great, but what makes this KTM 890 Adventure such a great all-round travel bike? This bike has a real sort of sporty feeling to it. So for an adventure travel bike, it's incredible how well it changes direction, how well it turns. So whether that's punching up a mountain winding road or drifting on the gravel, this bike loves to turn. And it gives you a really, gets the blood pumping. It's a lot of fun to ride. And this sort of sporting nature to this bike makes it a lot of fun. And you can see like with the new Dakar rally inspired styling, that sporty character, it looks like it. It doesn't just ride like it as well. But underneath all that, there's some really cool features. So let's talk about those. So starting off with the engine, we've got 105 horsepower and 100 Newton meters of torque. So that's a lot of power to kind of punch you up out of those turns, overtake the truck if you need to. And with all that torque, you've got your luggage on the back, pillion with you, still no problem whatsoever. So with the ride-by-wire throttle, integrating with all the different ride modes, you've got an engine package sort of performance setting that's going to work for any situation you're coming across in adventure travel. So KTM put a lot of focus, a lot of attention into the rotating mass of the engine. So with the heavier crank, that's given the bike more of a planted, stable feel on the trail. It's actually really affected the way the bike behaves and the way it handles. But it's also giving you a smoother power delivery, less stalling, and it's easier to get through the more sort of difficult technical parts of your ride. So when you combine that with like a really low center of gravity through the fuel tanks and through the really sort of small, compact engine, the bike's stable while still being really agile and again, sporty and dynamic to ride on the trail. So with the lower center of gravity and with the more sort of rotating mass in the engine, it makes the bike really stable and fun to sort of slide and drift around on the road. So playing around on the dirt roads in Bosnia, a really loose surface, that stability and the agility sort of combine to be able to slide and drift around on those roads, but still in a really relaxed feeling. So able to kind of still see the beautiful views and kind of experience what we're traveling through whilst riding, nice and aggressively and having a lot of fun on the bike. So for the brakes, up front we've got two 320mm 4-piston fixed radial brakes. And in the rear we've got 260mm 2-piston floating rear brake. So you're never going to have to worry about running out of braking power. It doesn't matter how long, how steep that downhill is, you're going to have a heap of brakes on this bike. So this bike is absolutely travel ready, and KTM's put a lot of effort into listening to its customers to further develop this bike and all the little tricks and features that all add up to being a really capable travel bike that's efficient and allows you to ride aggressively, sportively, but with enough energy to do it all again. There's a new 2-part seat that's narrower and more comfortable as well. You can adjust the rider seat up and down 20mm to kind of get it dialed into your preference. And you've got really good sort of passenger pillion handles here. So should you find someone that wants to go with you, or maybe you find someone along the ride, it's all set up for a pillion, comfortable place to be. With the new windscreen, there's a big increase in weather protection and a big reduction in buffeting. And the little hole in the front there has been a really big part of reducing that buffeting. The clever people at KTM figured that one out. When you put that with the lower front mudguard, you've got much less spray, no need to sort of stop and clean your visor every 5 minutes, and it's a really good, comfortable place to punch out long Ks in between the fun sections. So there's a new TFT display that's brighter and easier to read thanks to the new pictograms. It's a lot easier to sort of change between the modes and see how your bike's set for the situation. There's a 12-volt power port on the side and a USB as well. So lots of options for charging devices, GPSs, that sort of thing on your adventures. So with the new TFT display, we've also got turn-by-turn plus navigation, which is really helpful. You can focus on your ride, focus on the road, rather than sort of worrying about where you're going. And once you're connected through the KTM Connect, you can access your 10 top calls, your 10 favorites, your 10 last calls, and control your music all through the thumb controls as you're riding down the road. Obviously, tyres are very much a personal preference, but with the Pirelli Scorpions, you're going to be good to go for sort of asphalt, gravel adventures straight out of the showroom. So we've got all the latest package of rider aids. We've got ABS, motorcycle traction control, and motor slip regulation. These all combine to really help you out, especially more towards like the end of your ride when you're getting a bit tired, had a big day on the bike. Maybe your line's not quite perfect through the corner, the sort of thing I kind of get. I'm still trying to figure out the road riding side of things. And it's these sort of mid-corner, not quite right situations where all these sort of packages really help you out and keep the ride going and allow you to kind of keep pushing and having fun, even if you're not quite on your game. So we've got a LED headlight, LED tail light, and LED turn signals as well. These are really important. We need good bright lights for adventure riding so we can see where we're going at night, obviously, but also that people can see us, the whole C and B scene, even during the daytime, dusty backcountry roads, that sort of thing. Every good adventure story kind of involves crawling out of the mountains in the dark, and it's these sort of situations where you're going to appreciate those really bright LED lights. So new for this year is demo mode. So for the first 1,500 kilometers, your bike's going to come with every bit of technology available already and working on it. So you're going to have the rally pack, the rally mode, MTC, engine map selection, switchable ABS, quick shifter plus, MSR, cruise control. All the electronics KTM have got are going to come ready to go. After that 1,500 kilometers, you can then choose which of these features are relative to you, how you want your bike to behave, how you want to ride your bike, and you can choose whether you want to purchase those additionally. Don't worry, it's not like at 1,500 kilometers everything just switches off. You'll have to turn the bike off, turn it back on again, so it's not going to bail on the ABS or the MTC halfway around the corner. Adventure riding, it's all about going wherever the road leads. So as you go into these new places, new destinations, new journeys, the terrain underneath your tires is going to change. And KTM's put a lot of features in to make the bike adapt to these changing situations that adventure riding brings. The new 890 Adventure's got fully adjustable front suspension. So on the top caps, you've got compression and rebound dampening adjustment. In the rear, we've got high quality WP suspension with a hand adjustable preloader, which is really, really important for adventure riding. And we've also got a rebound dampening adjustment externally as well. This allows you to go with confidence no matter what the terrain. Really important that we can get the bike dialed in to make it work in all these different situations that adventure riding creates. With 200 millimeters of suspension travel, 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch rear wheel, it doesn't matter how broken up, how rough the road gets, the KTM 890 Adventure is going to be able to handle it piece of cake. The redesigned tank protection, if the bike does tip over, if it does go wrong, you're not going to need to worry about it too much. Extra bit of confidence for that when the terrain gets tight and difficult. And when it does get tight and difficult, the slim feeling of the bike, the ease to move around in it really starts to pay off. So it's a very narrow bike, easy to hold between your legs, really good feeling, lots of maneuverability on the bike. You've got many different ride modes which all help the bike to adapt to the situation. So you've got street mode, rain mode, off-road mode, and the optional rally mode. And what I really like as well now on the new 890 is that your ABS is integrated into these ride modes. So when you say change from street mode into off-road mode, the ABS is going to change with it. So you go straight into off-road ABS. When you go back, the ABS will shift back into road. So it allows you to get into the right situation, the right setup for the bike quicker with less button presses. So where the 890 Adventure really excels in my mind is in the tight, windy corner roads. So whether that's a sealed road or a gravel road, this bike just loves to corner, it loves to turn. And the plus side of this lower seat height, lower center of gravity is it allows more people to access even more daring adventure. You don't have to be 6 foot tall to enjoy this bike. Any type of person can get out and enjoy it in the mountains. The way an adventure bike delivers its power is really important. Of course, we want a lot of power, but the way it actually puts that power to the ground is super important. We want a smooth, tractable delivery that gets us that traction, gets us that power out of the turns, but does it in a really efficient way. And that's something that the 890 Adventure really excels at. With the lightweight, low center of gravity, and the wide bars, you've got a lot of leverage over the bike. The bike changes direction, changes your line really quickly, and with a minimum amount of rider inputs. And this all adds up to a really good, efficient energy saving. So this bike's very, very easy to ride over long distances, long terrain. And that energy saving just means you can go further, you can go longer, and come back still feeling good and wanting to do it again. So at the start of this, we asked what makes the KTM 890 Adventure such a dynamic, all-terrain travel machine. So it's got a really great sort of sporty handling to it. It's got a great sort of character on the road. This bike makes you want to push harder. It makes you want to play on the bike. And whilst we're all here to travel, we want to travel in a really fun, enjoyable, sporting sort of a way. And with travel, this bike it's ready to go. It's ready to travel. It's got everything that an explorer and adventure rider needs to go straight out of the box. It's really a confidence-inspiring bike. It's really built for confidence. So that lower seat height, that lower center of gravity, it just makes it feel really planted on the road. But when you get into the more sort of difficult terrain, that lower seat height, that lower center of gravity makes it really easy to ride. And again, it's just going to inspire that confidence in the rider. This makes it, really accessible to exploring. If you've got that yearning to sort of see what's at the end of that road, to see what's at the top of that mountain, this is the bike that's going to take you there. So who is this bike for? Well, if you want to take your adventures a step further, you want to hunt out those back roads, those new destinations, and see what's at the top of that mountain, this is the bike you want to be doing it on. It's agile, it's exciting, it's nimble, but it's also really efficient as well. So when you've got those, big, long, multiple day rides, that sort of thing, it's going to get you there in a really fun way, but in an efficient and easy to manage way as well. For me, where this thing really excels is in those second, third gear roads. And it doesn't matter whether it's a really smooth, well-made road, a broken up, beaten to death road, or a complete dirt road. No matter what it is, this bike is going to get you there. It's going to work really, really well. And there's definitely a space for it in my garage at home. Actually, there isn't. I'm going to need a bigger garage.